Who is ready for more Witch Hat Atelier? Let me hear it. Yep. Not even just more Witch Hat Atelier. We are going to catch up today and maybe tomorrow as well if this gets pushed into tomorrow. But this is perfect timing because volume 13 has just dropped. I don't think I'll be able to get my hands on a physical copy, so I will most likely buy the Kindle version of it. But I do have volumes 7 through 12 because these are the volumes I need to read before I get to volume 13 while I'm on my mission to catch up with Witch Hat Atelier, especially before the anime drops this year. I know it says winter 2025. It better be 2025, that's all I'm saying. But if you have missed it, I do have a reading vlog reading the first 6 volumes of Witch Hat Atelier, all filled with spoilers, so please do check that one out first if you haven't yet watched it. And then today I'll be going through the next volumes that I need to read to catch up with the series. I'm very excited as well because after, catching up with Witch Hat Atelier and finishing this vlog, I will be doing a Witch Chat Atelier with Elliot Brooks / Full Meta Analysis. She is a phenomenal booktuber who also has a second channel dedicated to manga, anime, all of the other things that you can possibly think of. So I'm very excited to have a discussion about it with her. I'll put a link to that in the description box when it comes out. It should be not too long after this vlog drops. But yeah, I'm just excited to get back into this world. This will be one of those like really chatty, chilled, spoiler-filled reading vlogs that I like to do. So it isn't like the most structured of vlogs or videos. I hope you don't mind. But having said that, grab yourself a drink, cozy down. I hope you enjoy the video. If you do, please leave it a like, subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into volume 7. I've already had a couple of coffees today, but I think I might need another one. I am no longer allowed on the comfortable seat because Ash has stolen it. How dare you? Oh my god, is this baby Kifri and Orugio? Seriously? Oh my god. Are we seeing like the origin stories of them? Oh, this is so cool. My heart can't take it already. And I've just started volume 7. Arugio is asking the important questions here. So he's just asked Kifri, what is Coco to you? Is she your apprentice or is she just a means to an end? That is a very good question. A question that I hope we explore in this volume. I really just only a few pages in. I'm already wanting to chat. Because Kifri is somebody who I find so fascinating, but I think there's like some kind of grey area there. I do think there might be some kind of darkness there. It's just a feeling I have. Just certain things that happened in the very first volume that just made me think, okay, I'm going to keep an eye on you, Kifri. Also, thank you so much to Big Bruh 7413 for leaving a bit of a pronunciation guide in my previous video. So I know there's like not an anime just yet, so I guess pronunciations aren't really fully known at the minute, but they did put what they consider to be the pronunciation. So thank you so much. These are the kind of pronunciations that I will be using in this video, or to the best of my ability. So I do apologize right now if pronunciations on character names isn't the best. I did struggle with character pronunciations in the first vlog, but we can only improve. Anyway, I need to actually like make it more than like 4 pages before I turn the camera on. But my final thoughts on the question that Arugio was just asked. I do think Kifri cares for Coco. I do think he's developed feelings for her in like a caring and protective way. Now, even though he does have a mission to find the brim caps and hopefully bring them down, I still don't think Coco is just a means to an end. Oh shit, are we about to find out the history with Master Kifri? I feel like this is most likely going to be the volume where we explore his past and find out more about him, which I am so happy about. This is exactly what I need. I need answers and I need them stat. Holy shit. They found him in a casket? That is messed up, man. That is so messed up. Oh god, poor Kifri. And he was also saying that he took it, a witch took it. Took what? Took the book? Maybe the book that Coco had? Or something. Literally, this volume has been so interesting. I'm like 21 pages in. That was kind of harrowing, especially since you have them trying to find something. They're following this blood trail, and then there's this casket that they hope is empty, or like at least not a trap, and Kifri's inside it. Like, what the fuck? And that isn't even answering all the questions I have about Kifri's past. In fact, it adds more questions. It is my belief that going there made him realize, even if he were to locate his lost memories and he could never hope to reclaim them into his being without turning to the dark arts. Oh my gosh, the parallels between Kifri and Coco. Honestly, if both of them go evil, I would like to say that. Also, the things I'm thinking right now with Kifri looking up at Ollie. Oh, not safe for work, let me tell you. I'll get demonetized immediately if I told you what I was thinking right now. This volume so far, man. This volume, the character development of Kifri, Coco, even Ollie. Like, how could we ever doubt Kifri? I mean, I've been doubting Kifri since day one, but how dare I? Because, oh my god, the way it goes to save Coco when she goes to the Tower of Tomes. Yeah, I've just finished chapter 37. So, like, we've been left on a cliffhanger. Kifri has saved Coco and they're together, but now Coco has to decide whether or not to go to the Tower of Tomes, like she initially planned, or go back to the Great Hall, which is a really safe option. But I love the fact that Kifri gave her the option to choose. We had like this really great moment between them, and like I really do feel Coco's anxiety about learning more as a witch, and the world is opening up so much more to her, but the idea that potentially forbidden magic might be the only way to save her mother, or like to solve some of the problems that have arisen that not forbidden magic will be able to help with. I honestly loved the discussion between Kifri and Coco, and the artistry, the paneling of stuff like this, where you can see Coco kind of surrounded by this darkness. She says, what if no matter how hard I try and try and try, my work never pays off? What if I'm never able to save anyone? So obviously like her entire goal is to save her mother, but what if forbidden magic is the only way to do that? So we have like this darkness encroaching on her. We also have a very similar panel artistry style a couple of chapters before with Kifri, and again those parallels between them, like this one is more lighter surrounding Kifri with like the darkness there. You can really see the darkness and the light has been inverted between those two panels. We kind of have with Kifri the question of, will he be able to achieve his goals without turning to the dark arts? And yet there's so much light there. And then with Coco, will she have to turn to the dark arts in order to save her mum? And we have so much darkness around her. The tearing of her well-being, the tearing of her mental health, the tearing of her mind right now is so intense. And I can really feel that through the art. It was even so touching as well when Belderroot mentions that Kifri, yeah, how did I miss it? Somewhere along the way, he finally donned a teacher's visage. Like, Kifri is just like the best. Like, I keep saying this every vlog, but Kifri is just like so lovely and nice. But again, like, that's why I'm thinking like the darkness is still like around and there is like this gray area there. But as a teacher, as a mentor, oh, he's just so wonderful. The way that he sees the best in his students, the way he sees the best in Coco is so touching. It's so inspiring. And he's able to get Coco down off a ledge by saying the right things. And not even just saying the right things, but actually demonstrating, hey, you've already done so much problem solving already. You have so much creativity. Don't give up on that hope. And she has the tools, she has the power and the hope to solve it. In the way that we have this massive beast that is quite scary, about to attack, and it's up to Coco to draw, and Kifri is trusting her to do it, and she's like, but what am I supposed to? Oh, and Kifri says, you understand, yes? Draw what you draw best, Coco, the skill you've polished over countless hours. Yeah, just like Coco using what she's learned so far, and seeing all of that progress, chapter upon chapter upon chapter. Like it's just so satisfying to see that growth and that development in Coco's abilities. Like we're actually seeing it happen in real time. There's no like time jumps. There's no kind of skipping through her learning. We are seeing everything down to the nitty gritty. She is slaying it, you know, like she's, oh my god, she's so good. Just the fact that he is letting her choose. He is letting her choose which way you fly is up to you. Like he's letting her choose Great Hall or Tower of Tomes. Oh, he's just the best. Yes, Coco, I am your master, and to me, you are my apprentice above all else. I will protect you whatever path you choose. So draw, Coco, wield your wand and draw. Oh my god, can you imagine the anime? That point in the anime, oh my god, it's going to be intense. I can hear the music just becoming like louder and louder until it hits a crescendo, and then the episode ends. What did Coco choose? You know, oh my god, like I need this anime right now. I need to shut up about it and just need to focus on reading the manga. But the more volumes I read of this, the more I just want to be immersed in absolutely everything in this world. Whether that's an anime, movies, video games. Oh my god, I would love a video game of this. Are you kidding? Even light novels. I would love a novel format of this too. I just want everything. I just want everything. And talk we shall once we have returned to my atelier. Because right now, I want nothing more than to get back home. Yes, I've missed the atelier so much. Let's leave this great hole behind. Get back to our cozy atelier. I suppose you'd like to pick up where we left off? Ollie having to go somewhere and saying, what about Kifri and the kids? Like, you know, the dad who goes out to work and Kifri's the stay-at-home mum. Or vice versa. I don't know. I just see gay undertones in everything, okay? Let me have this, please. It's just so cute. What about Kifri and the kids? And he's thinking about them. Okay, finally, after the wedding stuff at the castle thing. I don't know. We're finally back with Ollie and Kiefer. And yeah, I suppose you'd like to pick where we left off. Yeah, so start talking out with the whole story. And once you're done, there's only one thing I'm asking. I want you. Yeah, just I want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. I want you. I knew you wanted him. I knew it. Ollie, you do not fool me. I knew you wanted Kiefer from the moment I laid eyes on you in like volume 2 or 3. I can't remember which volume it was now, but I knew it. I knew you want him. Oh my god, I'm so hungry right now. But first, Witch Hat. Also, I just phoned my nearest traveling man, which is a store, like if you don't know, it is a store that sells manga. And I asked if they have the new volume of Witch Hat Atelier, and they do. So I'm going to go first thing in the morning to get volume 13 of Witch Hat Atelier, which will be the very first time I've been in a manga store in probably like 9 months, maybe more. It's been a while. So I'm definitely going to get it tomorrow physically. I just can't wait to get it. It's going to be so good. I will take you with me, of course. We will have a little bit of a day trip tomorrow during our little Witch Hat adventure. Anyway, I managed to finish volume 7 finally. I kept, like interjecting. I kept like stopping and thinking about it and talking about it. And I just, oh my god, like the things that are coming out. And I trust you, Kiefer, okay, I trust you. But why does he love taking people's memories? Like, the amount of times he's been taking people's memories, this will be the second time now. Poor Ollie, he just wants to help. Like when he was having that talk with Kiefer about like, what did I do wrong? He was angry at himself because he thought he was the kind of person that Kiefer couldn't talk to about things. But that is like totally the opposite of what is like happening. But that's just how Ollie feels. And yeah, Kiefer still has so many secrets and so much like trauma within him. So I do understand why he's like keeping his secret and stuff. Like the fact that he's like potentially losing his eyesight, like that's scary, that's terrifying. And the fact that so much of it connects to the brim caps, what happened to him in the past. Oh my god, Kiefer as a character after this volume has just like exploded into my favorite character, like my absolute favorite character, absolutely. And the character I'm looking forward to seeing more of the most. So I'm just freaking loving it. Even though what he did to Ollie, I'm so pissed at him. I'm so mad. You do not do that to your husband. Come on now. I don't think there's like a whole lot more to say about this volume other than we did meet a couple new characters who I really enjoy already. We have someone called in, do forgive me for the pronunciation, High Heart potentially, and Juji. I love them both so much. High Heart was like asking Ollie, please let me be your apprentice. And yet High Heart has an apprentice himself in Juji. And Juji was so wise. Like she was so good. Like she was also very funny too. And the fact that High Heart said to Juji, oh, maybe I should be your apprentice. And then Juji's like, come on now. But I do find it fascinating that High Heart was like vying for Ollie to take him as an apprentice. I'm wondering if Ollie will change his mind about it, because they did make some points about, like witches training the next generation and like their importance in the world and the knowledge that they can impart on other people. And Ollie does look like he would make a fantastic mentor. Honestly, I love him, so I would also love to be his apprentice. But there was a moment that scared me with High Heart when there was this young boy, he was covering his ears, and his mum was like, please help him, he might need trained, there might be some kind of magic that's hitting him or something. Good grief, this was not a comfortable position. And Ollie was about to touch him when High Heart grabbed Ollie and it was like, he's got these crazy eyes and he's like, what do you think you're doing? If you take his hand, you violate our principles. And it was like the most intense stare. And up until this point, High Heart, when I saw him, he just seemed like this very goofy, kind of carefree kind of guy. But then as soon as something that kind of wasn't part of the plan, like something that isn't like rigidly in the rules, when something was about to happen that was going to break that, he just completely flipped. He completely turned. Like those eyes, I got scared of looking at those eyes. They were way too intense. And I was like, what are you doing? This was not like your character that I was introduced to. These characters have layers, man. They have so many layers. I have no idea who to trust, what to trust, who I'm supposed to like, who is going to be the kind of person who, because I feel like that in this world there is like a structure, there's like things in place. I feel like potentially the structure might have to be dismantled, because it seems like witches are confined in a way. Like what constitutes as forbidden magic, but also like the rules that these people are enforcing on all witches, are some of them unfair? Like is it kind of like a bit of a dictatorship kind of thing going on? I don't know. Love this volume. I thought it was so good. Very excited to get volume 8 and very excited to eat something. Also, apparently there is a festival coming. I think it was called Silver Eve. So I feel like that might be the next arc of Witch Hat Atelier. And also the fact that it was a festival when Coco first met the brimmed cap person who gave her the pen and the spell book. That could be very interesting. I'm wondering if we have more appearances from the brim caps coming up. Either way, I'm so excited. Like this is the best day. Made myself, oh Ash, please don't start eating now. All I want to hear is mouth sounds. This is my life, by the way. As soon as I start recording, one of my cats decided to do something disruptive. We'll wait till he's done, I guess. Okay, he's done. So I have made myself a decaf coffee. I'm starting to feel myself get quite tired. So I'm definitely going to have to finish volume 8. And then I will most likely read volume 9 tonight and then do 10, 11, 12, and 13 tomorrow. And I haven't even finished volume 8 yet. I'm seriously going so slow today, but that's absolutely fine. I'm taking it all in. Eating it up. I've just finished chapter 43, so that's where I'm at. It's so nice to have like a little bit of a breather every now and then, especially after we get some like intense moments and things happening, especially with characters. But you know, there are still some like really good things happening right now. Oh my gosh, Coco and Tata. Are you kidding me? They are so cute. They are just genuinely so cute. When he asks her to help him with like the kind of grip that she has with her pen so that he can make the best thing for her. And she uses his finger as a demonstration. Oh my God, I couldn't. I was going to burst. Like that was so cute. And then when Agok comes in and she's like, and Coco was like, what you and that? We haven't really gotten a whole lot of Agot, or like the other girls really, in the past couple of volumes now, volume 7 and volume 8, which is fine because I feel like we're really establishing some other characters. Like Tata got so much development in this book, and then we met, I keep wanting to call him Caucus, because of Berserk. I don't know why. Custis. He's called Custis. He's a friend of Tata and he doesn't really have use of his legs. So again, like one of the amazing things that Witch Hat Atelier does, in my opinion, is that it explores disabilities. And I love the fact that we are exploring the fact that there are definitely some places that aren't accessible for disabled people. And so Tata and Custis have been working together in trying to make this world a bit more accessible. So, you know, like in the first video I talked about, I think it was called Silver Wash, that Tata has. Tobu, don't you dare start eating now. Please, I beg. Custis says, people born down in the dregs gotta fight tooth and nail just to survive. It's always been that way and will always be. I've made my peace with it. There was a moment when he kind of looks, and again, like with the eyes, I feel like Kamome Shirahama, she does such a fantastic job at portraying emotions in eyes. Sometimes the eyes scare me, but there was a moment where he was looking at Coco and he was being like, yeah, you guys have it made because you're witches, so your path is set kind of thing. Whereas him and people like him, they really do have to fight tooth and nail in order to get to where they want to be in life. So I'm starting to kind of say like themes of like privilege, of class, social standings as well in this world, in how society works and functions. I'm finding that so utterly fascinating. I feel like that's like the main undercurrent of Witch Hat Atelier, is the world and the things that are forbidden and inaccessible to a lot of people. Like for instance, the fact that Tata and Custis are working with magic and healing, which are two things that you shouldn't do. So it's like apothecary stuff that we're talking about and they're keeping it a secret. And they're like, why should society, why should the people in power keep people like them down? So there were like definitely some really good conversations surrounding that. I do think moving forward, I think this series is going to tackle the systematic oppression of people in this world, but also incorporating the magic too and how that correlates with real life problems and real life things. Because yeah, there are so many things happening in this series that we can apply to real life. Like again, with the inaccessibility for a lot of disabled people is so true in the real world. So to see these characters wanting to combat that, and again, like they have their own magical kind of way of doing things, it's kind of making like this fantasy world feel that little bit more real. And this decaf coffee is bloody lovely, I must say. Decaf coffee, oat milk. Oh my God, I found it. This panel here where Custis looks at Coco and it's like shivers down my spine, because Coco says, just because you weren't born a witch doesn't mean, what I'm saying is there's hope for everyone, so please. And then she stops because he looks at her like this. And then he's like, yeah, maybe you're right. If I'd had a house and a school and no worries about food or money and the ability to cast spells, maybe I'd be just like you. But I wasn't born on fortune's side. The whole world's against me, and now I've got to make my way through it on these stupid brittle legs of wood. So I feel like privilege is one huge thing that we're exploring here, in class and all of that. Honestly, this series is class. I genuinely didn't think we would be exploring these kinds of things from that first volume that we read. We are really dismantling this world volume by volume, and it's been an absolute ride doing so. Not a whole lot more to say about volume 8. I do still want to finish it. I've got 2 chapters left to finish it. I'll go straight into volume 9 unless I have more thoughts. And yeah, I don't know how I got so old. I used to be able to have so much energy till like 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like 7 p.m. It's 7 p.m. and I feel like a grandma. Oh my God, Ash has moved, so now I can finally sit in my comfortable reading chair. Whoop, 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 whoop. Definitely can't steal it back now. my god, stop. This is too cute. I mean, she decided not to do it, but like, the fact that she was gonna put that on Coco. They've come such a long way. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. Did you just wink? Did you just wink at the camera? Trying to finish volume 8, and I just cannot. Because Tobu just wants to hang out. Cats, man, the most distracting, especially when reading. Okay, who is this person and do I need to worry about them? Master Restus? Do you see witches just ahead on the crest of that hill? Do I need to worry? Please, let me know. This is absolutely ridiculous now. I want to read. I just want to read. And I want to read in peace. I want to read in peace, Tobu. Oh, you're so cute. Barely made a dent into volume 9. This is taking way too long today, Tobu. Oh my god. Daddy Keyfree. Holy motherfucking shirt balls. Is this like going to be the start of magic kind of getting dismantled in this world and people knowing that you don't really have to be born a witch to have magic? That ending, oh my god, all the stuff with Custis and the new person who helped Custis in India, I think. Oh my god. There's been too much gatekeeping going on in this here magical community. And part of me agrees that people really shouldn't be lied to. And I think there are a lot of rules that are being imposed that might be a little bit unfair. But at the same time, I do wonder what would happen if this society crumbled and everyone knew how to do magic. And we've seen the bad side of that, we've seen the good side of that, and there's just so many questions. Like, it's so prominent, like the amount of times people bring it up about how people shouldn't know about it. But there was mention, it might have been at the end of volume 8, which I just finished volume 9, about how people who are the weakest need the power the most, and the people who have the power are the ones who don't need it as much as the people who do need it. You know, it's like, oh my god, like the themes of this are just so intense. Oh my gosh. Okay, like let's start a little bit from the beginning a little bit. I love the fact that we are doing this like festival thing and just seeing a little bit more of the world, seeing them like selling stuff and sharing magic in a way. You get to see the joy on people's faces. Oh my gosh, when Coco did the flying thing that she helped Custis with and she brought it there, and this little girl comes up to Coco and she's like, one day I want to grow up to be a witch. Oh my god, the heartbreak on Coco's face, because Coco has been there before. She has been that little girl wanting to be a witch, and yet the witch society, the people in power, are keeping so many secrets from the regular people, the mortals of the world. And now that we have Custis being somebody who was a friend to Coco and taught her, and they did try and help him as much as they could without going into forbidden magic and to the best of their abilities. But now Custis sees it as, oh, you kind of really did just want me to stay the way I am. You could have helped me even more. And the relief on your face when you thought I was still disabled and hadn't used forbidden magic, like, betrays your true intent. So now, oh my god, like, what? Like, there's just so much happening. I can imagine seeing so much crumbling now. Custis isn't going to keep this a secret. When in India, oh my gosh, when she just came down behind Coco and taught her, oh my gosh, that was intense. That was epic. And they've got the little shackle things on their wrists now as well. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. This has gotten like so much more exciting again. Like, oh my god, the storylines are just popping off. Before all of this as well, like towards the start of this volume, yeah, we do have them getting to this festival. And it was so funny as well because Ollie had this face mask thingamabobby, and I thought he'd shaved his beard, and I was about to go apeshit. Do not shave your beard. Like, so many people look so great with a beard. I prefer the beard. And I thought he shaved it off, but no, it was just like a face mask thing. And it was so funny when the girls were like, oh, you actually looked better when it was on. Look at the bags under your eyes. Oh my god, it was so funny. Poor Ollie though. I really loved one of the chapters where it had this content warning. Yeah, it was chapter 49. It had a content warning before that. The following chapter includes discussion of sexual abuse and victim blaming. Readers decided to find such subject matter triggering should proceed with caution. Alternatively, the chapter may be skipped entirely. Doing so will not interfere with understanding of the main plot, which resumes from page 121. I love the fact that this was included. Yeah, I will also put a timestamp on the screen as well if you want to skip this discussion, because I will also be discussing what happened in that chapter, because the way that it was tackled in this world was just absolutely so beautiful. Like, probably the best way of dealing with it that I've ever seen. Like, the conversation that came out of it, the way that people sided with the victim as well. I mean, obviously, like, some people didn't, but the vocal conversation that we had was so amazing. So there was like this random lowlife guy who was trying to sell these like glasses things that would make you see through like people's clothing, which obviously is absolutely so fucking gross and disgusting. I think her name is Lelucy, like one of the Knights Morales. She goes after him, and when she catches him, she says, okay, we need to erase your memory. And he's like, oh my god, why are you treating this crime like on the same level as like murder and stuff like that? Yeah, he says, it's not like I've even killed anyone. This spell's not even forbidden. And she says, people in a sexual assault, plain and simple, it is to be handled with the same gravity as other serious offences. Honestly, this is the kind of thing that we need in this world, like our world, where matters of sexual assault, sexual abuse, even peeping at someone and just like violating someone should definitely be taken as seriously as anything else too. Too many times, a lot of those cases are just like brushed under the rug. People don't take it seriously. But oh my god, the way that she takes it seriously. Into her backstory too, where it was her and Yen, when there was like Lord of the Region, he entrusts them with like some kind of job at his castle, but they are both like touched and groped and all of these really gross things. And there's like this really, oh my gosh, like heartbreaking moment when Lucy sees Yen through some doors. Like, I'll not go into detail with that, but oh, my heart just absolutely broke. And then even afterwards, when Lucy was saying, in telling her master, like, hey, like, this is what happened, like, he's a pervert, please help us. And then the master is like, no, you need to apologize to him because he's a patron, so you apologize. Which honestly, it's just the victim blaming. Oh my gosh. And then when they go to the Great Hall, because the master's like, okay, you are being too rowdy, we're going to take you to the Great Hall. And then he tells the people of the Knights Morales, they say there certainly is a problem here, and it has to do with you and this patron of yours. May the principles be ever upheld and the penance justice swift upon the guilty. What? Get this thing off me. So like, he's the one who's trying to victim blame her because he doesn't think it's a problem. And yet the Knights Morales, the people in power here, they're like, no, we're siding with her. Like, what he's doing is gross, and you're gross for trying to make her apologize. I love the representation of that because she was heard. She was heard. Something awful happened to her and her friend, and she was heard. And so her chasing after this guy who has this contraption that makes you see through people's clothes. Like that, even though, yeah, that chapter was kind of like a standalone kind of chapter in a way, although the end of it definitely leads into the plot a bit more as well, especially with Custis's dad, or like foster dad, really. I think he got resurrected. I actually think he died. Like, I'm not 100% sure, so please do clear this up. I think he had died when he got attacked, and that's when Ininia did forbidden magic on Custis and got him to walk. And then on the dad, I think she might have resurrected him because the awful Peepin' Tom guy says that guy had a seal on his chest. So that's how he's like bartering with them to not erase his memory. And obviously if he can be resurrected, like what the hell? So I think that's what happened. But no, honestly, the entire depiction of that chapter was so amazing. Like one of the best representations I've seen of like sexual assault and like getting your voice heard after a sexual assault. Also, I love the fact that the guy's face is like scribbled out. The guy's face is just scribbled out. You don't get to see the pervert's face. You don't get to see the abuser's face ever. And I freaking love that game. Just, fast becoming one of my favourite authors of all time. Kamome Shirahama, love you. Absolutely love you. I worship the ground you walk on. Moving on from that, so yeah, now you are safe to watch it if you wanted to skip all that stuff about the essay. But just know it was really tastefully done, in my opinion. On a more uplifting note, Tartar and Coco, absolutely gorgeous, so sweet, like so sweet. The way that he managed to give her her pen and it fits perfectly, and he shaped it to her hand and stuff. Oh, my heart can't take it anymore. It seriously can't. But yeah, the ending with Custis and Inia. Oh my god, like how do I wait? Because it is getting quite late now. I am tired. I might read volume 10 in bed. I don't know how I can wait until the morning to continue on. The story is definitely ramping up. But like, not even just Coco's story, but the world as a whole. Like, what's happening now could shake the entire magical witch world to its core. And now it's Ash's turn for all of my attention. Cannot get a single volume read without them absolutely pestering me. Oh, Ash, I love you. Hello, beautiful. Hello. Okay, I'm just waiting for my taxi to take me to town so that I can pick up Witch Hat Atelier Volume 13. I've taken Volume 10 and 11 with me just in case I read some while I'm out and about. I might go into a cafe and read some Witch Hat Atelier. But I also need to like actually start shopping for Iceland. I have a trip to Iceland coming up in like 3 weeks and I have nothing for it. So I think I might see if I can get some clothes for it, you know, because I'll need some thick jumpers because it'll be freezing and all of that. But the main important thing is getting Witch Hat Atelier Volume 13. So I did pick up volume 13 of Witch Hat Atelier while I was out and about. I also managed to finish volume 10 while I was out and about as well. When I got home, I finished volume 11, but then Tobu lay on me and I couldn't move. I was trapped. And it's now like 2 hours later. So that isn't ideal because that means I'm like 2 hours behind. Anyway, I got a little bit more manga as well while I was out. It's been so long since I've been to an actual manga store. I did get Delicious in Dungeon because I've heard so much about it. So I thought I would try the first volume. And then I got a 3 for 2 offer in Forbidden Planet and a 3 for 2 offer in Traveling Man. And yep, volume 13, I'm so excited to get to it. Fresh off the presses. However, we do need to talk about volume 10 and volume 11 of Witch Hat Atelier first. Things, again, have certainly picked up. The stuff with Titia, I think her name is pronounced, Titia and the Prince, that was pretty interesting, especially when you have that comparison with the way that witches and kings were working in tandem a long time before. The Prince says something about, you know, like we could be like that again, you know, witches and royalty, friends like they used to, like in the days of yore. And then you say Titia looking like, maybe this could be a bad thing. Because when the Prince first said, hey, maybe we could be friends, and then Titia's like, well, I thought we were friends as soon as we met, you know, like, why wouldn't we be? There is like a little bit of a sinister undercurrent to the relations between witches and like regular people, especially with all of the gatekeeping that's going on in the magical community. And that's something that's been very focused on the past few volumes, so I don't think I have anything like really too much more to say about that. Although the Prince, I think when he went to, you know, his dad, I think it was his dad, and there was that weird scene where it seemed like his dad was doing experiments on people or something, and it does look like the prince, because he said like he wants to be a witch for a day, it does look like the prince wants something that may have something to do with casting magic on the body, the forbidden spells, things like that. So definitely ramping up the whole forbidden spells, brimmed caps kind of situation going on at the moment. Custis and Ininia, oh my gosh, the way that they talk to Tata and Coco, and they get them to do something for them so that they can prove that Custis can trust them if they get into the procession and get a performance in front of the king. I'm like, why? And like, even though I finished volume 11, I still don't really know why. Like, what is going on there? Because Coco's done her performance thing, which was amazing, actually. And I love the fact, okay, volume 11 focused so much on Agot, and I loved it so much, and the relationship between them, especially since Agot wanted to perform herself to, you know, perform in front of her mother, and the jealousy that comes out of her when Coco is, you know, frustrated, and Agot's having these thoughts like, oh, like if she just failed and she just went away, then that's one less person to be competition with. I thought, oh, it's interesting seeing these thoughts still within Agot even after everything they've been through. But then you see Agot like actively fight those thoughts, and then she helps Coco. She ends up helping her. She gives her so much advice. The way that they have that scene outside at night, and it was just so sweet and so touching. Even Agot says, I can finally see what they mean when they say magic is meant for helping others, or how easy it must be to draw for someone. If you just imagine the smile she'll wear when you show her the spell. Agot is like battling these feelings of inferiority, and well, it's both inferiority and superiority, because at first it's like Coco doesn't belong there because, you know, she is like a brand new witch and she really shouldn't be there, versus seeing Coco actually bloom and blossom this entire time into the witch she's become, leading to Agot to like really respect and now care for Coco as well. It's so beautiful to see unfold. Also, my volume 11 has a typo for one of the chapters. It should be chapter 59, but it says chapter 26. Does it say that for anyone else? Or is it just my volume 11 copy? That should be chapter 59, but I think it was a misprint, because it is still chapter 59. Like, the story still continues, and then it goes into chapter 60 right after. Chapter 26, chapter 60. Is this a printing error? Does this get fixed? Do I need to buy a new copy? Which I don't think I will. Like, there's no point. It's just a typo. I even love Agot's way of being frustrated with Coco, because when Coco is like actually crying about not being able to write, which was very intense, and Agot has this response where she's like, it's not just you, it's everyone who goes through the same thing. It's like overcoming anxiety. It's like having this like creators and writer's block kind of thing and pushing through it. It's something we all deal with all the time. Like when you hit a dead end because no matter how many times you try, it just doesn't come out right. Or when your drawing hand freezes up from the pressure and the nerves and you just can't find the confidence to take back control. It feels like, I mean, there's so much more that Agot says, but yeah, it just feels like Agot was holding all of this inside and it just like exploded out. And you can see in like all of the black lines and the way that it's kind of illustrated, which again is like such a brilliant way of the author and the mangaka to like show emotion. Even from that panel, you just see all of that just like spilling out of Agot, and it continues as well, and she gets it off her chest, and it's like all of the insecurities that she's feeling herself, all the things that she's had to go through when she struggled, and she's sharing that with Coco. I just found it so beautiful. Also, more reason to believe that Ollie and Kefri are in a relationship is when Kefri notices the bands on both Tata's and Coco's wrists, and then Orugio says they're matching accessories they bought in secret at a festival can only mean one thing, and we're the last two people in the world they want to see poking our noses around. So it feels like Ollie thinks it's like some kind of romantic gesture, and then a little bit later Kefri says, still there are some truths that are hard to bring up even when one trusts somebody a great deal and wishes desperately to confess. I'm like, Kefri, Ollie, do you both have something to confess to one another? And then Ollie says, I seem to remember a couple of other pint-sized rascals who kept secrets aplenty back in the day. And then Kefri says, I suppose you have a point. We were just as bad. I was like, considering this is, like, you know, talking about a potential romance between Tata and Coco, and they're kind of comparing themselves about things that they've hidden in the past, they're not beating the allegations, I'm just saying. Speaking of actual canon gay characters, the scenes between Galga, who ends up having his mind wiped, which is so awful, and I believe his name is Atwood, who loves him. Like, he loves him. He says, Galga means the world to me. He's your comrade, isn't he? And yeah, it seems like they are a genuine couple. And I love the fact that it's stated, you know, he means the world to me. Like, that's just so sweet. And they're sending him to Adonley. It's where banished witches are sent after their minds have been stripped of magic. And again, like, it just shows you the dark side of magic, the dark side of this society. It's just so awful that this is happening to Galga when there could potentially be a way of helping him, but because of the rules, he needs to be banished. He needs to be sent away. It's just so sad. It's just so upsetting. Poor Edward. Poor Galga. I would love to see more of them two together. Back to Custis and Dagda. The spell that is on Dagda, the counterclock spell, the counterclock sigil. It's so sad because we do get like, that little flash of when Kefri used that spell on the ink pot. It's the moment when Kefri explains what the counterclock spell does, and then you kind of relate that to Dagda. It grants us just a few extra moments. It winds time back for the ink pot. It'll perhaps last a day at most, but make no mistake, the fate that befell the pot has not been avoided. We've simply managed a slight delay. The fact that it fell and shattered has not changed. When the clock again catches up to the moment it fell, the pot meets its fate once more. So like, poor Dagda. I really hope they do find a way of keeping him alive. An absolutely heartbreaking scene with Custis as well, which, like, we're setting Custis up to be like some kind of villain right now, and I just feel so much for him because I can totally see his point. I can totally see his point of view. His foster dad is essentially in trouble, and witches do have the power to help, and yet they choose not to. Again, there are many reasons not to. We've seen the dark side of it. We've seen what can happen when forbidden magic is cast, and there is a price to be paid. So I can totally understand the frustrations, how conflicted he will be as well. Oh, it's just like such a messy, messy scenario. But to end this section with what happens at that little jail scene. I'm so bad with names, I'm so sorry. Where that older man is in jail with that pervert guy, and he has this ring and he gets the guy to use it. And then at the very, very end of the volume, we see this massive thing coming from the castle. Oh my god. And we see the severed hand. Ew. And that old man says, one more ignorant fool who never stopped to ponder why the taboos are in place. And yeah, that severed hand is like, oh, now that I don't fully understand what's going on right now. Excited to find out. Why is it every time I try to read? Please leave us alone. I want to read. Yes. Yes. Oh my god, I am screaming. Screaming. They're so cute. Ash is so cute. Aren't you? Yes, you are. You're so cute. Ooh, do you think maybe we should show them how to do it? How to purify it so they can make their own clean water? Do you even hear the words coming out your mouth? Teach magic to anyone who's not witches against the principles. I smell a rebellion. Oh my god, what the fuck? What the actual fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Is Coco okay? Oh. This bitch. And there is something I must do now that I would rather my apprentice not have to say. Daddy Kefri, what are you about to do? I have finished volume 12 and I have so much to say because I thought Kefri for a second had died, so I almost died, but I'm still stuck here because Ash is with his dad, you know, and I would be an awful parent if I moved him. So I really want to do an update on volume 12 and tell you everything because, oh my god, what a whirlwind of a volume. But I've got ASMR on right now. It's got like music, so it will probably get copyrighted if I try and talk too long about it. And I'm just using my phone. I don't have my camera. It's all the way over there. So I'm going to go straight into volume 13 and then I will wrap up all my thoughts on the series so far because volume 13 is the last available volume so far. And I'm just, oh my god, where have we got to? Where have we got to? And come on, I absolutely cannot move this. I would be so mean. I would be so mean. So I am starting this now, and wow, there are 7 chapters inside it. I think that's the most chapters of any volume so far. Because usually it's around about 5 or 6 with an extra chapter, but this is actually 7 chapters. Kefri putting his foot down is so hot. Oh my god. Oh. Okay, Lord Engendale is a freak. I finished volumes 12 and 13, so I'm now all caught up with the volumes. I do know there are more chapters that have been released online. I'm not 100% sure where to read Witch Hat Atelier online. That helps the author. I don't just want to read Witch Hat Atelier chapters off bootleg websites or anything. So I may have to wait until volume 14 before I can continue on, even though I know there are more chapters and I need to know what happens next. Like, did Kifri get a vision or premonition or something spelling doom? It just feels like there's just been doom, doom, doom. Where is the cozy atmosphere gone? Where's the nice cozy Atelier vibes? We were back at that Atelier for 2 seconds before we were back out on the field. Oh my God. I'm exhausted. I'm literally exhausted after reading the last after reading the last 7 volumes. I was only supposed to do like 5 or 6 volumes per video. When I do my free run video next, I will be doing the first 5 volumes. This has exhausted me. It's been a fantastic journey. Absolutely love the story, and oh my God, I'm so excited that I've caught up with the volumes, but this was tiring work. Like, what can I possibly say about the last 2 volumes? Oh my God, like the fight between Kifri and Engendale was incredible. It was so intense. I could see it playing out in my head as if it was an anime, which it will be. Honestly, just the way that I was over the water, and it just felt so very atmospheric, and the fact that Kifri like bamboozled him and tricked him was ideal. It was so perfect and amazing. And oh my God, the progression of the magic community. For a second, I thought Beldarut was going to be a betrayer. I thought he was not going to be a good person. But the fact that they've made the counter clock spell work for the actual humans who can benefit from it the most was so amazing. Like, all of the themes that we've been exploring have just like come to a head. I feel like we will probably still be getting these themes and questions in future volumes, especially to do with like, what magic do you share with the mortals, like what is actually forbidden and why it's forbidden. There was a really good moment actually to Tia when she was talking with a regular person, somebody who isn't exactly a nurse but is wanting to impart some basic first aid knowledge, when she says, "Take it from me, little witch, any soul out there who tries to restrict the things you learn is only doing it to keep you square under their thumb." That is the perfect way of saying it. Like, all of these rules that are in place is to keep a lot of the witches and this society in general under their thumb. For better or worse, like, that's exactly what they're doing. In the way that that character put it is the way that I wanted to put it but haven't been able to put into words. There is definitely a structure of play and definitely a power balance that feels like it's starting to shift, it's starting to shake up a bit. But just to see the beauty by the end of volume 13, how the witches can use their magic to help them in a way that's kind of towing the line. So when Beldarut has the idea of doing the contraption that helps to heal, like with the counterclock spell, in a way that's not going to be considered forbidden. It was just genius, like absolutely genius. And that's when you really see the witches and the immortals like really working together. Like, some of these barriers are starting to crumble, in my opinion. And this is like the first fantasy I've ever read, I think, where witches and mortals like really do work together. And it isn't just like trying to keep everything. I mean, obviously they're still keeping stuff, but like they're not trying to take everything from the mortals and keep them in the dark and ignorant for everything. I mean, again, yes, there are lots of secrets, lots and lots of secrets. And when they come out, it's going to be catastrophic, I tell you. But you can genuinely say that for a lot of people, for a lot of witches, they genuinely do want to help and they want to share what they know. Even when Tatia even like flirts with the idea of teaching them how to purify water, and it got us like, but I'm sniffing rebellion. I really am. I'm sniffing rebellion. Just to see the struggle of the characters grappling with the idea of keeping these secrets when these things could benefit is so interesting to watch unfold, because it affects every single character differently so far anyway. It's just so good. Like, oh my God, I love Witch Hat Atelier so much. Like, I've been really loving it so much. Like, it's been so exciting, so gruesome, so gross. It was when we see that pervert guy when he first gets transformed into that monster thing, the lychee thing. Oh my God, that is like honestly so gross. Like, that's something you would probably find in a Junji Ito novel. That was genuinely terrifying. And yeah, we're really towing the line between the like darkness of this world and the lightness of this world. I feel like we haven't had light, and so I mean, we've had like really nice character moments and all of that, but like the coziness just like isn't there anymore. When we get back to the Atelier, I'm sure it will be. And there is that spin-off Witch Hat Atelier Kitchen, which I do have the first couple of volumes of. I will definitely be reading those at some point to get those cozy vibes back, because I've missed them. But yeah, oh my gosh, there was just so much to talk about with these volumes. Gosh. Oh, when Coco is wanting to help Custis and she really does stand up for him in that smoke form, like where she looks like a fairy and Belderu was helping her. That was so amazing too, because with Custis, again, like I find him so intriguing and so complex so far. Like he doesn't really want to hurt people and he just wants to help people. Like when he'd actually helped people who had, you know, been injured from the leech thing, and he carved the symbols on them and brought them back. It was almost like an army of almost the undead. Were they dead and did he bring them back to life, or like were they on the verge of death? And you know what I mean? Like there's just this really sinister thing about it, but at the same time he's helping them in his own way. And when he's talking to Juji about it, and you know, Master High Hardo, I was like so scared that we were going to lose him when he was dying and she was questioning it herself. I was like, oh my god, is Juji going to do it? Is she going to actually carve the symbol on him and bring him, you know, to before his injuries? Oh my gosh, like there was so many things at play here. Oh, and before I move on as well, Galga and Atwood, oh my gosh. When Atwood gave Galga the apprentice uniform and Galga's like, I don't remember you, I felt my heart break. I felt Atwood's heart break. Like, you don't remember your true love? You don't remember the person you love? Oh my gosh, like that's so painful and so tragic. And to see Atwood doing everything he can to help his love, oh, it's so inspiring. It's so cute and adorable, and it's going to make me cry. It's going to make me cry. Also, Aninia, I don't think she's as bad as I initially thought either. I think she does have so much. Like, why did she react the way she did when she saw Galga? And also, I ended up helping him as well. Like, she could have left him. She could have left him to die, but she ended up helping him. She was like, I have provided you safe passage. Flee, find your spire, and may we never cross paths again. And then when Galga picks her up later, she says, what do I care if this man had someone dear to him? It has nothing to do with me. There is no reason for me to feel bad about it. The fact that she's questioning that, I don't know. I think there is something to feel bad about, and I think you are feeling bad. And then, yeah, just saying. Oh my god, like there's just so many thoughts running through my head. And I freaking loved it. I just freaking loved it. The plot has definitely picked up. This entire arc, I believe it's called the Silver Eve arc maybe, or something like that. I think a lot of arcs are just like fan-made names and stuff, but I feel like that's what this arc is, and it's just been like non-stop excitement. Genuinely cannot wait to read more. I will be talking probably a bit more in depth about volume 13 and the past couple of volumes with Elliot from Elliot Brooks / Full Meta Analysis with a Witch Chat Atelier video that's going to be coming soon. So do keep an eye out for that for more Witch Hat, because yeah, that'll be my next Witch Hat video, and then I will be starting Freyrin, and I can't wait for Freyrin Beyond Jenny's End. I'll be starting that, and I'm just like totally just back in my manga era. Witch Hat Atelier has definitely helped me get back into it, and I cannot thank it enough. And there's just like so many things going on in my brain, like I can't think straight. But thank you so much for watching this video. I do really appreciate it. Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Bye.